Alrighty then. Let us continue. Not missions. Academy. Gemini. I think we're on life support. No, we're on... Yeah, we already did the computer. We definitely did the computer. Alright, let's do life support. The environmental control system in the Gemini is mostly automatic, but it is important to know what to look for in case something happens. This lesson will teach you the basic of the ECS. Oh, there's a text-to-speech system, but then I wouldn't be able to read it aloud. Welcome back to the launch pad. Today we will stay grounded, but take a closer look at the environmental control system. The ECS is a system that keeps the cabin pressurized, maintains temperature, and removes odors and CO2, provides oxygen and water. It tries to create an Earth-like environment in the capsule, like a small planet. The system is semi-automatic, but provides manual control when needed. Two coolant loops push coolant through the equipment. This is a liquid that will absorb or transfer heat, reducing the temperature of the component as it goes through. A radiator, an evaporator, and heat exchangers are used to cool the fluid down as it goes through the loop. It is also used to heat the oxygen flow. The fluid will go through a radiator that will radiate the heat to space and cool the liquid. Caution, keep in mind that if the radiator is warm, like after ascent, it will heat the liquid instead. In this case, the radiator will be bypassed, or should be bypassed. So if we go up here, so that's the flow, bypass. A radiator bypass switch controls this, set it to flow. There are 4 pumps that will pump the coolant through the loops. These are usually on until retrograde. The coolant loops and pumps are located in the adapter and will be removed at adapter separation. You can enable the loops by setting the pumps to on. There are 2 loops, 1 primary and 1 secondary. Each loop has 2 pumps. Set the primary A to on. The oxygen used in the capsule is the same as the cryogenic oxygen used in the fuel cells. It is heated before entering the oxygen loops. The primary oxygen tank is in the adapter, and the secondary is in the capsule for reentry. Suit fans are controlled using the suit fan switch. This is usually set to number 1 and 2 for the entire mission. Set it there now. The suit fans are controlled using the suit fans. The pull levers on the roof panels are used to control some important ECS functions. That are these things. The cabin recirc is used to permit cabin air to enter the suit circuit for removal of odors and CO2. If CO2 is high, pull the lever and leave it open until the indicator shows a good value, and then close it. The snorkel is used to permit air during descent. That's the cabin recirc, snorkel. Cabin vent is for decompressing the cabin and ventilation during landing. The water seal seals the cabin for water at splashdown. The O2 high rate recock restores the oxygen high flow rate to normal oxygen flow and restores the capability to do another high oxygen flow. The high flow is indicated with the O2 high rate switch just below it. I think that's this. That's the evap max flow. Oh, this switch. The one clearly labeled high rate. There are many gauges you can use to check the ECS. The temp gauge shows the cabin and suit temperatures. So the cabin's, again, a little over 100 degrees, and the suit is at 85. The press cabin shows the cabin pressure, which will be about 5.5. And the PCO2 shows the amount of CO2. It's right here. The pressure of the CO2 in the suit in millimeters of something mercury. The SecO2 shows the amount of oxygen in the secondary oxygen supply used for reentry or during emergencies. So we're at about 60 psi. The cryo gauge is used to monitor cryogenic oxygen systems on board. It is important to frequently monitor the ECS systems, make it part of your routine. Good lesson. The sequencer is responsible for the phase of the mission. Used together with the checklist, it will guide you through the major stages of the mission. This lesson is a preparation for the next lesson where you do the actual entry.
Mark, 50 seconds, you're looking good, 8.
Hello, welcome back to Gemini Academy. In this lesson, we'll take a look at the basics of the sequencer. We'll learn about the retrograde and landing stages. We'll perform these stages in the next lesson. The sequencer is used to control the major phases of the mission from ascent to landing. It has a main display on the center panel. It's going to be here. Actually, it's down here, I think. And is identified as the long stack of light switches. Oh, it's this thing. I'm a derp. Bum, 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 bum. Most of these can be opened and triggered, just like the Mercury. It works by illuminating a task you have to perform. If a light illuminates, you can open the cover and press the button to execute the step. This is a fully manual operation. After stage 2 separation, the sequencer is counting down to the time to retrograde time base. At TR minus 256, meaning 256 seconds prior to retrograde sequence start, the sequencer starts to prepare for retrograde. At this point, the sequencer will illuminate lights you need to follow, from top to bottom. The first is the end retro at. By executing this action, the platform will be tilted for the correct retro attitude. There it is, end retro at. Battery power is a reminder to turn on your batteries as you will separate the fuel cells. To avoid a power interruption, the batteries should be online before separating the adapter. RCS will disable the OAMS, this cannot be reverted, and enable the RCS thruster system in the capsule. As with the OAMS system, the RCS Ring A and Ring B, two systems for redundancy and efficiency, must have propulsion and power. These are set by the RCS control power and prop motor valve switches in the center panel, right here. and here. At time to retrograde minus 30, the SEP ohms lines, SEP elect, SEP adapt, and ARM auto retro is illuminated. So SEP ohms lines, elect, and adapt. The SEP ohms lines will seal the AMS propulsion lines. SEP elect will cut the adapter electricity lines, and SEP adapt will separate the adapter along with all the equipment. So I'm guessing if I go outside, yeah. So between this section and this section are the lines for like the OAMS, electricity, etc. Because all the fuel cells are in here, and obviously all the equipment is up here. So those buttons just cut those connections. Lastly, you need to arm the auto retro system. This also needs the retro squibs active. Retro squibs are down here. It is normal to trigger the main retrofire 1 second after retrofire, just to be sure. You know, probably just to make sure that everything's working. When the retros have fired, you need to jettison the retro by pressing the jet retro. The spacecraft will now be in an entry configuration. The Acme attitude controller is set to rate command. That's down here. And then you will follow the attitude indicators on the FDAI. The computer is set to reent, keep in mind at the 10-minute loading, and you are now on your way back to Earth. After reentry, the landing system is used to deploy a drogue at 40K and the main chute at 10.6K. The altimeter can be used to check this, and lights will illuminate on the left panel when you need to do this. Excuse me. Alright. Where are those lights? $40K, 10.6K, right here. An emergency 10.6K. I'm guessing that's probably for the parachute. Keep in mind that chute deployment is manual. Okay. At 20 or 200 feet, the landing at is pressed to tilt the capsule before splashdown. It's landing at somewhere over here. High alt drogue, parachute, landing at. Okay, there it is. At splashdown, the parajet is triggered. This also happens automatically. At this point, the reentry will be complete. And now we actually get to do this. Nope, not missions. Not yet. In this lesson, we'll learn how to perform the deorbit reentry landing procedure, which is a requirement for every Gemini program. Yes, ideally.
seconds. You're looking good, 8.
Good morning, I am Hector and I will be your instructor. In this lesson we will teach you how to perform the deorbit reentry landing procedure for the Gemini spacecraft. Atmospheric entry or reentry is the movement of an object from outer space into and through the gases of an atmosphere surrounding some planets. Well, our planet for land spacecraft, or for crewed spacecraft. This procedure allows a controlled atmospheric entry, descent, and landing of a spacecraft on Earth. Atmospheric drag and aerodynamic heating can cause an atmospheric breakup capable of completely disintegrating any spacecraft. That's why it's so important to master this procedure. Just before re-entry, the Gemini capsule will jettison the retrograde section, leaving only the cone-shaped spacecraft holding the crew. The tip nose of the Gemini capsule contains the parachute system. Small explosives will deploy the parachute to slow the capsule's descent. The capsule will shortly after make a big splash in the ocean and float until a rescue ship arrives and retrieves the vehicle and astronauts. Let's get started. We are currently approximately 80 minutes from the start of re-entry. First thing we'll do is take a look at the deorbit re-entry landing procedure. First, we need to set the Gemini spacecraft to the retrograde attitude. Hit V on your keyboard for opening the view selector. And then, central pedestal. We want to be here. In the prop motor section, set the OAMS to open. Now in the control, set it to on. The ohms are needed for performing the retro burn. So remember in the maneuvering section, it said to turn these off when not in use, so you don't accidentally move things. Make sure that the attitude control is set to platform, which it is, in the center pedestal. This will hold the spacecraft attitude to the platform selected. In this case, the platform is ascent, and we should probably be it's free. It should be big end forward. Set the platform to big end forward. We are now big end forward. It's a much better autopilot than the Gemini had. Or the Mercury. Now the spacecraft should be changing its attitude. Look at the FDI AI ball. Well, kind of missed that point, but because I was outside. Set the computer mode to pre-launch, and then press start on the computer. Now let's check how much time we have left for pre-burn. Pilot's panel and press 1. Press 9. Finally, readout. The new reading will have the time for retro burn in seconds. We have about 1 orbit to prepare for entry, with much more than what was really needed. Well, it's because we're learning, so everything goes slowly. Okay, sorry. One important note, or tool, is Event Timer. So let's start by learning how to use it. Alright, Event Timer is going to be in the central pedestal thing over here. Ooh. Apparently it's actually over here on the captain's side. We'll set the Event Timer to a countdown for 30 minutes. In the Event Timer dial, or turn the Event Timer dial clockwise to increase the numbers until 30 minutes. So it's currently 6 minutes and 16 seconds. Oh no! Let's go back down. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. Once 30 is displayed in the minutes digit, turn the dial clockwise back to the middle position, and then use the other positions to set seconds to 0. Now turn the left pin down to stop. Turn the right pin down to down. Then start by pushing the event timer back up to standby. We will run the pre-retro checklist when this clock reaches 0. Let's get familiar with the entry procedures while we're waiting. T. Open the checklist from the mission pad, find the entry section and the landing section. Entry section, landing section. These sections contain all the checklists we will be using today. Read through them and try to get a good overview of the procedures. It will be time well invested. Then timescale until the event timer reaches 0. Stop the event timer and then press Roger. Alright, let's read through these. Pre-retro. Captain checklist. Sequence lights, bright. Sequence lights test, amber, red, and green. Left panel circuit breakers closed. TR256 circuit breakers closed. Attitude indicators with the FDIs. Ohms control panel on. Platform big and forward. Attitude controlled. Platform. Event timer. Standby. Set the event timer to 20 minutes. Left section O2 bottle. Open. Alright. So, we would start a 20-minute timer. We've turned on the power. Left panel circuit breakers. These are all going to be on. Except for the retro stuff down here. TR256 circuit breakers. I'm not sure what that necessarily means. I mean, we'll see eventually. Because it'll highlight it. Toggle hatch. That sounds dangerous. Let's not toggle the hatch. Oh, right, because we can do EVAs. Oh, that's going to be fun. That's going to be so fun. Alright. Attitude indicator with the FDIs, which is set. I want to do attitude and platform. Yes. So, this should be pretty well set. Event timer, left section O2 bottle. That is going to be... It's over here. I do not know where the O2 bottle stuff is. I mean, here's the secondary O2. Left sec O2 bottle. I'm guessing down here is going to be the right sec O2 bottle, so it might just be somewhere on the captain's actual side. I do not know. We will find that eventually. Alright. Pilot checklist. Overhead panel, CBs, all. So let's sit in the pilot seat to do this. So those are all of these CBs, except for the ohms heater CB and the H2O heater CB. Oh, all of them closed, except for the ohms CB and the heater CB. That's interesting. Why would they all be closed? Huh. Well, we'll get to that later. Center light as needed. Suit fan number 1 and number 2. Keying. Can't enter push to talk. That is somewhere over here. Push to talk. C reentry. Can't. TM. RT and AC. Antenna select reentry. Voltmeter BT. Voltmeter is going to be battery test over here. This one. Main batteries test off. Voltmeter center. Attitude indicator with the FDI. Check. Right panel CBs all closed except Calib, Agent A, Power, and Agent Agena Control. All of them closed except Genie Control and Power. They stay on. Oh, closed! Closed be... I'm dumb. Circuit breakers closed means they're in. The circuit is closed. So yeah, we turned those off. That makes more sense. Okay. Exterior lights off. Engine stop. Right, secondary O2 bottle open. At T-minus 20 minutes, start event timer counting down. Computer reentry. Once computer loaded, start computer push. Battery check at T-minus 50. Not that. 250 seconds to retro. Event timer reads 4:16. Sequence lights amber. Computer reentry. Squib batteries 3 on. Main batteries on. So this all of these are on. RCS prop motor valves A and B open. That's the center console down here. Prop gauge RCS A. That is going to be this. Record cont. Cryo quantity off. That's going to be over here. There we go. Cryo quantity off. Good. Antenna select reentry. CPFDR platform. CPFDM attitude. FDI scale range high. That is going to be... Is this the captain? Nope. It's just all of them. So I'm guessing that's high. There we go. Right click is high. Okay. Attitude control rate. Rate command reentry. It's going to be in the center console. Rate reentry right there. Or rate command reentry is that one. Rate gyros 3. Primary. I don't actually know where those are. We will find out. OMS control power off. Prop motors closed. So off, closed. RCS A and B control power Acme, which is up here. Indirect retro attitude push, or indicated retro attitude. That's push that button. RCS push that button. Retro power arm. I don't actually know where that is. We will find that out. Control SC attitude to and hold retrograde attitude 20 degrees pitch down. Pilot FDR plat. Pilot FDM attitude. Pilot FDI scale high. HFTR is off. Primary pumps off. Secondary pumps off. Radiator bypass. Start 1 minute to retro checklist. 1 minute to retro. Hold retro attitude 20 degrees pitch down. Separate the lines. Push, push, push. So that's just separate, separate, separate. T-minus 30 seconds. Retro rocket squibs arm. It's over here. Up. T-minus 5 seconds. Arm auto retro. Push. Push. Wait for event timer to switch to counting up. At T plus 1 second, man retrofire push. Push. Platform. Or at TR plus 30 seconds, platform big and forward. Big and forward. Did we ever turn the platform away from big and forward? Well, we'll get to that. At TR plus 45 seconds, retrojet light amber. Retrojet arm. Which is somewhere. Jet retro push. Start post-retro checklist. Post-retro jettison. Retro power safe. Retro jet safe. Retro rocket squib safe. FDR comp. FDM attitude scale low. RCS control power B off. Okay, we just turned off one of the systems. That's interesting. Boost. Insert control 1 and 2 CB open. Retro sequence control 1 and 2 open. Cryo O2 and hydrogen heater circuit breaker open. Ohms center prop circuit breaker open. Fuel cell control. Tape recorder control open. So we're just opening all of the circuit breakers associated with the accessory section. Sec number 1, 2 power off. Turn off the fuel cells. Pilot FDR comp. FDM attitude landing squib. Unnoted, interestingly, we don't set the FDI scale. Landing squib arm. Record retrofire DV vector from IVIs. Start entry checklist. Note, TR will vary depending on your entry angle. A TR plus 1430. Control SC attitudes to 0 degrees yaw, 170 degree roll, horizon at top of window. At 19 minutes, after roll needle deflection, control SC attitude to backup bank angle and damp pitch and yaw rates. Attitude control rate command re-enter. Landing. In 40K illuminates, RCS A and B control power Acme. High altitude drogue push, D-ring uncover. RCS A and B prop motors closed, O2 high rate on at 27,000 feet. 110.6K illuminates, parachute push, landing attitude push. Parachute is here, landing attitude push. After main deploys, attitude indicator circuit breakers open. Rescue beacon without light. Acme bias power off. RCS heaters off. Scan heater circuit breaker open. Computer pre-launch. Computer power off. Platform off. Rate gyros off. AC power off. RCS CBs open. RCS control power off. Acme control 1 and 2 open. 2K checklist D-ring cover and safe. I don't know what the D-ring is. It might be something to do with here. Toggle D-ring. Alright. Oh. Post-landing. Parajet, push. HF antenna X off. Landing safe. HFTR reentry. Number 2 audio. HFDF. All radio switches off except UHF. No audio. Number 1 audio mode switch UHF. We're just doing circuit breakers. Alright. That only took... That's not 4 minutes. We set this to 30 minutes. Okay, I was about to say, that took more than 4 minutes. Alright, let's time scale forward. Roger. The first part of the entry section is called the pre-retro checklist. This checklist is basically prepares for retro. It's important that you correctly set up the event timer when instructed to do so, as the OBC Cord 19 will be unavailable while the OBC loads. Run the checklist now. Alright. Pre-retro. Run. Sequence lights test amber and red. Alright, so that's going to be over here. In the panel, there's got to be a light test somewhere around here. Acme logic, maneuver thrusters. ohms. Center light. Light check. Nope. Where, oh, where would a light test be? If I were a light test. Where would I be? I mean, ideally, you'd be near the lights. That's where I would put it. Although I say that, it's nowhere near the lights on our plane. This did say it's a captain checklist, so it should be accessible from the captain's side. Which makes me think it's got to be in this panel somewhere. Oh, heck. I've probably, like, seen it several times at this point. I just want to make sure. Pre-retro. Because we set a timer. 1200. Okay. So we've got some time. Okay. It's not going to be here. It's not going to be here. It's not going to be here. Those are all computer stuff. This is ohms. This is prop motors. Rate gyros. And the scanner. It's not going to be there. It's not in the center console. It's not the timer. It's not this. It's not cryo. It's not our comms panel. It's not below the comms panel. It's not the beacon control. Alright, we'll find it later. Left panel CB's closed. These are all closed. Except for these. Fuse TR is closed. I kind of skipped over that. Squib power, retro power, arm. Set event timer to 20 minutes. Alright, so you're going to stop, middle. Actually, it's going to be faster to increment. Okay, 20 minutes. Alright. Well, it skipped the oxygen thing, so presumably the oxygen's already set up. Alright, overhead panel CBs all closed, except OHP, fuse O... Now, let's go proper panel. There we go. Proper panel is going to be... That's way too close. Goodness gracious. Alright. Let's actually go through and make sure. Alright. Sequence lights bright. Sequence lights test. Okay. Man, I've really got to figure out where that is. I feel like it's got to be... So this is the center light. Those are the beacons, coolant pumps. No, okay, it's not up there. Oh, that's what those lights are. Can I turn those off? Those are very bright. Good. Alright, sequence light says amber green. Left panel CB is closed. TR256 CB is closed. Attitude indicator with FDIs. Ohms central panel on. On. Platform big end forward. Big end forward. Attitude control plat. Plat. Event timer standby. Standby. Actually, standby. Set timer to 20 seconds or 20 minutes. Left O2 bottle open. Overhead panel CBs all closed except ohms heater CB, H2O heater CB. Okay. H2O heaters off. Ohms heaters off. Or open, sorry. Center light as needed. Suit fan 1 and 2. Keying. Center light as needed. Suit fan 1 and 2. Radio keying. Continuous int push to talk. Okay. Band C reentry continuous. TM, RT, and acquisition. Antenna select, reentry. Alright, voltmeters over here. Voltmeter, we're going to do a battery test. And we're going to test all of the batteries and then turn them off. Oh, sorry. Test, 24 volts. 24 volts, 24 volts, 24 volts. Okay. Voltmeter center is going to be there. Attitude indicator with FDI, Right panel CBs all closed except Calib CB, open. Agena power, open. Agena control, open. Exterior lights. Off. Cool. Engine stop. O2 bottle set. Cool. Run the checklist now. Roger. You'll need to monitor core 19. Press readout multiple times as you proceed with the checklist. One of the lap steps will be to start the event timer when core 19 reaches 1200. Before loading the OBC entry model. Loading takes 10 minutes and will leave us about 10 minutes of time before the burn. Roger. Alright. So, see, this is where it would be easier with 2 people. Because I need to wait for 1200. You doing okay there, RCS? Good. I guess it's OAMS. Alright. We're waiting for 1200. 14. 13. 1286. 60. 30, 20, 20, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, down. Event timer start. Computer, reentry. Alright. Wait for the OBC to load. OBC is loading. Which it said takes about 10 minutes. There we go. Start. Should now be about 10 minutes away from planned ignition. If you're not yet familiar with the steps, spend the next couple of minutes getting familiar with the 256 and 1 minute to retro. It will be hectic. The next checklist to do is the 256 to retro. We will now use the run feature to do this. Do this now. Yes, the run feature is going to be important. When event timer reads 4 minutes and 16 seconds. The first thing it'll ask you to do is wait for the event timer. This checklist will verify critical switch configurations proceed when at T416. At the end of this checklist, it will ask you to perform the 1 minute retro checklist. This will be where all the sequence buttons are pressed. It will be a lot in short time, so be prepared. During the 1 minute to retro checklist, you will need to pay close attention to the sequencers. Sequence lights will illuminate yellow. Indicate retro attitude will be the first. When a sequence is pressed and is complete, they will turn green. Anyways, back to the checklist. Complete the 250 seconds start to retro checklist and hit the check mark when it asks you to start the 1 minute to retro at the end of the checklist. Excuse me. Main batteries on. Prop motors on. Radio record control continuous. Acme rate command reentry. Oh, rate command reentry. Ohms power off. Ohms power prop motor closed. RCS power Acme. Indicate retro attitude, push. RCS, push. Control spacecraft attitude to and hold retrograde. Oh, okay. I do this manually. Okay. I guess that looks okay. About 20 degrees pitch down. It appears to be. PMP. Let's go over here. Data is attitude. Start 1 minute to retro checklist. Check. Then run the 1 minute to retro checklist. At TR minus 1 minute, which is in 90 seconds, we're going to hold the retrograde attitude, which we've got. Alright, so let's time forward to 1 minute. Alright, hold copy. Set OMS line, or SEP OMS line, push. SEP electric line, push. Set adapter, push. Maintain indicated attitude while waiting for the event timer, and then complete the checklist and the following steps and timing precisely. Alright, so we have now separated the adapter section. Alright, T-minus 30 seconds. Squib the retros. Or arm the retro squibs. At T-minus 5 seconds, we're going to arm auto retro. Where is that? Okay, that's right there. Wait for the retros to fire. Arm. Alright, now we push the button. Direction up. Alright, man retrofire push at T plus 30 seconds. IGS platform BEF. Alright, well, we kind of added 10 seconds to that. Alright, so we have burned. The retro has completed burning. We actually gained a decent amount of speed from that. 311 feet per second. It's not bad. Alright. 20 seconds, we're doing platform big end forward, which it should already be. Yeah. 45 seconds, which is going to be 35 seconds. Retro jet light amber. It is amber. Squib retrojet arm. Arm. Retrojet push. Push. Start post retro checklist. You are ready to run the post retro jettison. Do this now. Post retro jettison. Alright. Squib retro power safe. Safe. Squib retro jet safe. Safe. Squib retros 1 through 4. Safe. Safe. FDI mode 2. Okay, comp, I guess. Set knob 0. It's high. Or the low. Control power RCS be off. Off. Fuse boost insert control down. Down. Retro sequence down. And then over here, the cryo heater open. OEMS control up here. Control prop. OEMS control propellant open. Fuel cell control open, open. Fuse tape recorder control open. Section 1 power off, which is all the way down. Power 2 off, and then all of the power cells go off. FDI mode 2 to comp, squib landing, arm. Take note of the retrofire DVs on the IVI. So 311, 073, and 9. Make sure the computer is set to reentry mode. And push to start to turn it on. Bright green. It is. Good. Now your pilot skills will be proven. Well, that's terrifying. Okay. Change the Gemini spacecraft attitude manually so those needles point to the center. This is done by changing roll, pitch, and yaw attitudes. These are measured in degrees. What happens if I yaw differently? It doesn't necessarily like it. Remember the following detail. Yeah, Let's talk about maneuvering the atmosphere. You need to be careful not to build up too much g-forces. Do not exceed 10. Keep those needles centered as much as you can in the upper parts of the atmosphere. Once drag is detected, air density will automatically move the spacecraft into a stable atmospheric trim attitude. At this time, the only axis you need to control is roll. The capsule is designed to generate lift. When your heads are pointing down towards the Earth, the lift vector points up. Okay. When your heads are pointing up, the lift vector points down. When you reach 400,000 feet, roll the spacecraft to heads down so the lift vector points up. When 5G is detected, the IVIs will show the range to the touchdown point and it will start to count down. At this time, roll the spacecraft so the spacecraft is in a heads-up position, driving down into the atmosphere. Pay attention to the g-forces and reverse the roll so that the lift vector points up when it exceeds 3 to 4 Gs. G's are up here. The longer you keep the lift vector up, the longer the capsule will travel before splashing down. Optional, try to maneuver so you can get close to the splashdown point. During reentry, your spacecraft will shake as it gets struck by the atmosphere. Burning is depicted as bright yellow light wrapping around the capsule. Maneuver to maintain g-forces and range. Okay, so heads down. This is very sensitive. I can see why they have it like that. Heads down generates lift. Heads up generates anti-lift. Alright, let's read this thing. Her 170-degree roll. So it does want me to be nose down. Or heads down. By a fair margin. Uh, 170 degrees is there. How much fuel do I have? Got a decent amount. Alright. There we go. Beautiful. At 19, after roll needle deflection control to back up bank angle and damp pitch and yaw rates. Attitude control, rate command reentry. I'm already at rate command reentry, aren't I? Rate command reentry, yes. Reentry, green, start, big end forward. Good. Alrighty, our altitude, hopefully we'll start being able to tell us at around where we want it to be. Our rate of descent is good. Where are we? We are over the Atlantic. Goodbye, Florida. This looks like its heads down is actually going to generate anti-lift, that looks like. I want to make sure I read that right then. Okay, heads down, lift vector. Okay. So the lift vector is opposite our heads, which makes sense. Because you'd want to be like pushed down into the seat. So with this orientation, The lift vector should push us away from the Earth, which is what we want for this stage of reentry. Do not pull the ejection seat. Alright. It's time compress forward because it's going to be around 14 minutes when this happens. And I think that, yeah. Oh, that's 40K, not 400K. I don't like that we're like pointing more and more towards I feel like the horizon should be at the top of the window, but then the FDIs are not centered. I want to center the FDIs. Maybe it looks... Nope. It does not look better from that angle. What is this? Range rate feet per second. Oh, that must be for like docking and stuff. Got a propellant quantity over here, which is at around 90%. And then this, which is at... Oh, this is temperature and PSI. Okay. Keep the needle centered. Heads down, lift points up. Heads up, lift points down. You've crossed the surface, or the entry interface. Prepare for entry and atmospheric drag. Roger. Where is our altimeter? We do not have a good reliable altimeter at 400,000 feet, which makes sense because we're still basically in a vacuum at that point. Can we turn on the that? There we go. That looks better. Now I can actually see. Still not sure we're actually getting much atmospheric interference at this point. Okay. Well, why did you tell me to pitch down if you're going to tell me to pitch up immediately? Oh, there is a roll command. Okay. And there we go. That is producing lift now. Okay, so I just need to keep the G meter all right. I need to keep the G meter happy, and everything is going to be good. We are still descending. $44 miles. What is that in times 1.6 is... I can't do math. What's in real units? Time to bring up my calculator. 70. Okay, we are pretty deep in the atmosphere then. I feel like would be more than 0 acceleration there. Accelerometer. Alright, this is counting down. Maybe I shouldn't have been heads down for that entire section. Because now we're starting to get some G's, and this is counting down pretty quickly. I'm not sure we're going to be able to stop in the next 200 miles. Yeah, I think it meant us to be heads up for that initial moment. Here we go. Now we're really starting to dig into the atmosphere. We are very starting to dig into the atmosphere. I might have just killed us. 12 Gs. 13 Gs. $14. We're moving away from our landing point now. 12 Gs. Was not ideal. should have started the roll earlier than that. This thing takes forever to roll around. And I did overshoot my landing by a while. Oh, we're finally coming in. Alright, what's the landing checklist? Means you've performed the reentry successfully. When the 40K indicator lights up, and then go to the alt drogue, this will deploy the altitude high alt drogue. 40K lights up, high altitude drogue. Then when the 10.6K lights up, and run the parachute. There's our drogue. 10.6 is going to be a little bit lower down. Well, I'm only 100 miles off course. 130 miles off course. 40K illuminates. A and B are both Acme. Altitude drogue push. Toggle D ring. Uncover and arm. Okay. Prop motor valves A and B closed. When 10.K, 6K illuminates. Which is going to be a little ways down. On 10.6. Bing. Bing. The light should illuminate. Why is the light not illuminating? Oh, because that was 16. 10.6 is over here. I'm a derp. I know how to read an altimeter. Hush you. 10.6 is right there. Haha. Landing altitude can be set. Look at the altitude gauge when it shows 500. And then, yeah, so I've pressed the landing altitude. Alright, after main deploy, fuse, attitude, retro, down, landing down, beacon light, off, Acme power bus, off, the heaters A and heaters B off, horizon scanner, heater open, flight mode, pre-launch. Computer power off. Gyro or IGS platform off. Rate gyros off. AC power source. Okay, so this is after main deploys. Okay, off. RCS pitch A. Yaw left, yaw right. Pitch. Yaw left, yaw right. Control power ACS A. Off, off. Fuse Acme controller off, off. I think I accidentally turned on the OAMS fuses when I was trying to turn off the lights. We were doing the hydro heater off, OAMS heater off. At 2K altitude, which we have passed already. Toggle D-ring safe. Is this the landing orientation? Oh, because now we're just sort of sitting forward instead of sitting on our backs. I guess that can kind of make sense. I like that it points towards the carrier. That's fun. Well, I got us all killed for the in the reentry. Freaking 12. What has it got up to like 15 Gs? Yeah. Our brains are puddles in the backs of our skulls. Mission complete. I landed safely. Yeah. Sure I did. Sure I did. Alrighty. Gemini. The exam. As a full mission test, you'll only fly a spaceship into orbit and then perform a re-entry and splashdown. Cool. This is everything. This is the full exam. I wonder if it's going to be a cold, dark airplane. Cold, dark spaceship. gonna be fun to do the like Agena docking stuff and EVAs. Oh my gosh. I am excited for the Gemini. That's got me thinking. They didn't do EVAs with the Apollo platform, did they? I know they did some from Skylab, I think, but not during the actual like Apollo program. I'm gonna have to look that up. All right, let's do this. Welcome to the full mission test. Oh, we're 10 minutes out. I'll help you, but you're mostly on your own. Prepare for the cockpit for launch and ascend into the parking orbit. Checklists. All right, we're at. Let's do the full internal power to make sure everything is on. Oh boy. Okay. Batteries on. Squibs on. Fuel cells on. Power on. Switch to internal power. Start the pre-flight checklist. Back. Ooh, there's dim light controls. There's a dimmer up here. Ooh. Now that's fancy. Okay. Fuse TR56 open. 15 mode data mode 2, which is comp. Set knob 2, which is high. Vent timer zeroed. Man, there were a lot of stuff that were not right with this plane for 10 minutes before takeoff. All right, heaters open. OMS heater open. Lights, FDI on. Acme bias power primary. Selector is yaw. Attitude drivers are primary. Evaporator flow max. We are on bypass. Keyring continuous push to talk. Continuous. Without light. Continuous. We want RT AC and reentry. Horizon scanner is set to off. All right. Cool. Battery checks easy. Fuel cell checks. Okay, squib and abort check. Full internal power pre-flight. Just verify. Computer power on. MDIU power on. Squib boost insert on. Just go on. Coolant pumps. We'll wait for 5 minutes for that. Actually, we may as well turn them on now. What's the worst that could happen? I think pump Bs are also supposed to be on. Suit fan 1 and 2. Alright, horizon scanner primary. Verify OBS, OBC self-checks complete. Ejection D-ring. Oh! Okay, I want the D-ring there. Cool. LC computer. Start. So pre-launch. Good. Start should be green. Platform alignment. Verify complete. When FDAIs are stationary. Computer mode. Ascent. Acme Road. Rate command. OMS open. Open, open. MD 72. Perform a radio check. We do 5 by 5. T minus 30 seconds, start ascent checklist. Verify if platform alignment FDAI should indicate roll offset for trajectory azimuth. Does not indicate a roll offset. Ascent and not running. Ascent, not running. Ignition, monitor engine 1, light, red on pressure buildup, off on nominal thrust. Liftoff, monitor, computer and start clocks. Computer start and clocks are running. Fuel 1 oxide. Monitor altitude. At 75,000 feet, stow the D-ring. Okay. Alrighty, let's do this. Sitting here on top of our ICBM out in Florida. I like that they specified that this is a single engine with 2 nozzles, because it is. It's not a 2-engine spacecraft. Alright. T minus 30 seconds, start ascent checklist. Verify platform alignment. Computer mode ascent and not running. Engines are thrusting, good luck. Alright, we have the roll, which is good. Alright. Monitor engine 1 and 2 lights, which they are. At liftoff, computer start. It started, clocks are running. Yes. Monitor fuel and altitude. At 75,000 feet, D-ring. Alright, we're starting to nose over. Fuel is draining.
Mark, 50 seconds, you're looking good, 8.
50 seconds, 75,000 feet. We're at 20,000 feet currently. Up into the flight levels. 30,000 feet. And at 41,000 feet, we are above where most commercial airlines fly. 50,000 feet, we're getting above where even private jets fly. 60,000 feet is where U2 generally is, or above that. And then we're starting to get into Blackbird territory. Oh. Toggle D-ring. And now I think we're above where even the Blackbird can go. Some high altitude balloons are up here. About here is where Joseph Kittinger did his jumps. When fuel 1 oxide depleted, staging. Monitor fuel 2 or engine 2 light and oxide. I go, it indicates how many seconds. No, that's not seconds. I don't know what those middle things are. 20, 40, 80. Probably have a decent amount of G's coming up here. Yeah, it's 4 G's.
Roger, staging.
Nice staging. Now we're burning off the second engine. Light illuminated. We don't want to do that yet. That is after the after we are in orbit. Well, mostly in orbit. Alrighty. We are getting close to second stage engine cutoff.
Roger, Seco.
Welcome to orbit. You're doing great. Now use the light switch that illuminates to separate the spaceship from the launch vehicle. So right now we're still attached. Then if I chunk, now jettison the fairings and follow the enable OEMS checklist and zero the IVIs. OEMS, OEM. Alright, is that a checklist? Bum, 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 bum. Should have probably read the remote things. Flight modes. Right command. No. Insertion. Okay, so it's not the insertion checklist. Ascent. Jet fairing. Push. OAMS. Enable. Am I going crazy? Like, it's not just an enable. Open, I guess it's already open. So I just need to on. Turn it on to Acme. And then I need to go... Whoop. Zero. Once the scanner is detected Earth and the illuminated scanner light is extinguished, you'll be in the parking orbit. Set the computer to catch up. It will spend 10 minutes loading. Alright. Well, whoop, wrong button. Alright, let's do the insertion checklist. Booster insert, safe. Squib retros, safe. Sequence lights, again, I don't know where the test is. Secondary O2 shutoff L1. Ah, secondary O2 bottle. Cool. That's where that is. Attitude indicator light circuit breaker as required. That's going to be up here. May as well turn those. Attitude indicator. Oh, on is good. I like on. Center lights as required. Oh, what were those? OMS heaters CB closed. O2 heaters CB's closed. Those are the ones up there on the top panel. Acme bias power primary. That is over here. No. Right there. No, that's the scanner. Is it up here then? Power. There it is. Primary. Good. Roll jets, yeah. What the heck? Roll jets, yeah. Oh, roll jets, yeah. Good. Attitude drivers, primary. Primary. Suit fan number 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Prime pumps A. On. Secondary pump A on. Antenna select adapter. Oh, I guess you want the coolant pump B off. Antenna select. Oh, that's that antenna select adapter. Radio record off. Main batteries off. Squib batteries off. Secondary O2 off. Controller power OAMS off. Motors closed. Closed, closed. Computer, catch up. Press Roger when the loading is complete. So just waiting for that now. And we're just drifting. Because we don't have any attitude control. Oh, I guess it's the gyros that are drifting. Alright. Just waiting for that thing to get loaded. There it is. Alright. Press Roger when loading is complete. Plan a circulation burn once you reach apogee. The time to apogee can be read using the computer and by checking core 73 and time to perigee core 74. Alright. Nope. Clear 73. Cool. About 10 minutes. At T plus 30, request radiator check. It is now T plus 20. Time is measured in seconds. When you reach apogee, ensure that the rock is in SEF and zero the IVIs again. Is that a thing? Orbiting. Circularize orbit. Set OBC to catch up and wait for it to load. Radar request circularize at apogee perigee burn pad from ground. OBC reset push. Okay. I want to circularize at 73 was bum 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 bum. From liftoff to apogee. $75 or $76. Let's try that. Cool. Apogee is in 400 seconds. Alright, so I want circularize apogee.
Roger, DCS.
Catch up burn pad. Apogee circularization. RCS OBC Getty 00030 0035 X 794 Y 90. Beat burn time 40 seconds. Uplink brief. Time to burn 3003. Delta V 79.35 feet per second. Okay. Goodness gracious. Okay. Alright. Copilot time. Let's do some computer stuff. Core 1 and 2, time of ignition, get in hours, minutes, and seconds. Okay. If we clear, put 0, 1, readout. I need to write this down. So I'm going to use my scratch paper. Time of ignition is 00030, which is hours, 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 minutes, minutes. And then seconds is going to be clear 02, readout. And that's 3.5, I believe. If I go back to memory core. Yeah, 0, second. Good. Okay. Cores 25, 26, and 27 are desired delta V. Verify core 1, hours and minutes to burn. Core 2, seconds and milliseconds to burn. Okay, so 25, 26, and 27. I have the ID Z, X, and Y. Okay, so we take the transcript. Okay. Yeah, Getty is 350. Yes, that's what we got. X is 00794. Y is 90,000. Z is 00000. Burn time is 39.68 seconds. Altitude 121 or 122.1 and 122.0. Okay. So, if I go back, circularize orbit. Verify core 2, yes. Alright, so let's try this. Alright, so 25, it's clear, 25, that's going to be readout. 793, that's pretty close. Clear, 26, readout. Cool. Clear, 27, readout. Good. Good. That is exactly what I want. OBC, start push. Okay. So over here, OBC, start. And TIG is in the future. Okay. We do have that 78, which is roughly the 79.4 that we need. Alright, set the event timer to 10 minutes. So we need to stop it. Decrease. Okay. Now over here, when core 83, time to go is 10 minutes. Yeah, something's gone wrong. Okay. So, if I do clear, what if I do 25? I am not ready for this. Okay. Enter. 26. Enter. Clear. 27. Clear. 27. Enter. All right. If I hit the start button now, Got a malfunction light. Cool. Well, phooey. Alright, set the OBC to catch up. Alright, let's do the temperature check. Radiator temperature. Should now be in the planned orbit. We will stay in this orbit until retrograde. Set radiator to flow. Boom. Okay. Computer is loaded on catch-up. Request APPE circularization from ground. Alright, maybe we'll deal with this later. Let's just clear that out. We zeroed the thing. Everything was hunky-dory. Alright, so blunt end forward. Retrograde is in 90. Prepare by following the pre-retro checklist. Okay. But we've turned off OAMS, so we're not going to do blunt end forwards at all. And it's already night. Cool. Alright, we'll deal with circularization later. Pre-retro. Sequence lights bright. Once again, I feel like that's got to be up here somewhere. Let's get rid of this. Alright. Once again, a check. Clock light. Heaters. Transmitters. Beacons. Converter. TMAC. Lights, cabin, coolant valves, O2 rate control. Then jets, OAMS control, maneuver thrusters. Attitude drivers, attitude thrusters. You would think it would be right next to the sequencer. That's where I would put it. Like right here. Switch right there for the test and then the brightness. Alright. Left panel CB is closed. TR 256 CBs closed. Attitude indicators with FDIs. Ohms central power. Is that going to be down here? Central power on. Platform big end forward. Attitude control is platform. Event timer standby. Set event timer to 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Left sec O2 bottle open. Pilot checklist. Overhead panel, CB's all closed except for... Well, we don't really need the heater and everything. Ohms heater CB needs to be open. I know where that is. I saw it. Okay. Ohms heater CB open, which it is. H2O heater CB open, which it is. Center light as needed. Suit fan number 1 and 2. Keying. Continuous enter. Push to talk. C reentry. Continuous. That is C-band. Continuous. TM RTN acquisition. Yes. Tennis select reentry. Voltmeter battery test. Main batteries test and off. 24 volts. 24 volts. 24 volts. 24 volts. Voltmeter center. Attitude indicator with FDI. Right panel CB is all closed except for the Calib CB. Open. Agena power. Agena control. Exterior lights. Engine stop. O2 bottle. Open. Alright, we got some time. Ugh. Closed accept. Alright, so now we just need to time compress forward. Oh, while we're time compressing forward, we're actually gaining a decent amount of CO2 in our suits, so may as well turn on the cabin recirc. See, I wish there was a time to retrograde actual switch. Or a timer like there was in the Mercury. Alright, that's enough of that. Got another, was that 15,000 seconds or 1,500 seconds? Alright, 20 seconds. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, timer. Alright, computer mode, reentry. Wait for it to load. Okay. Push. Awesome. We have loaded. We are in orbit. We're coming over to... I don't know. Africa. Cool. Alrighty. Checklists. That was the pre-retro. 256 seconds to retro. And we're going to turn on the motor valves? So we have control power, but the motor valves are currently closed. I feel like we should be in the proper orientation right now that we're like 8 minutes to the retro burn. That looks better. Alright, when the event timer reads 4:16. Roger. Squid batteries on. Main batteries on. Prop motor valves on for the RCS. Prop gauge selector RCS A. Continuous. FD mode 1. FD mode attitude. Set knob 1. Right command reentry. Power OEMS off. Closed. Alright, the lights have come on. Into retro attitude. Push. RCS. Push. Control spacecraft attitude. Let's turn on the cabin lights, attitude, center lights. Good. Thanks, RPG Pro. This is Orbiter, or not Orbiter. Man, that's a long, old game. Reentry. I've been having a lot of fun with it. But I'm also a nerd. It's a nice sunset. I think that means we're going to be re-entering in the dark side, which is kind of unfortunate. Alright, we're going to hold this attitude. Copilot needs to do his thing, which is platform, attitude, that. Coolant primary pumps, A, off, B, off, bypass, radiator, start 1 minute to retro checklist. 1 minute to retro checklist. Hold retro attitude, 20 degrees pitch down. Does that mean it wants me to not keep the needle centered? 20 degrees pitch down is going to be there. Alright, that's 1 minute. 20 degrees separate OAMS line. Let's go to the center area anyway. Separate. Separate electronics, separate. Separate adapter, separate. At T minus 30 seconds, so we've now burst that adapter section off. It's unfortunately at night, so you can't see it very well. T minus 30 seconds, which is now, arm the squibs. T minus 5 seconds, which is soon, auto arm retro push, which is going to be in the center console area here. Wait for them to fire. At T plus 1 second, push that. T plus 30 seconds. IGS platform. Should be big end forward. It is. At plus 45 seconds, jettison the retro. Alright. Squib retro jettison arm. Jettison retro push. Whoops. Did that in the wrong order, but at least it worked. Start post retro checklist. Post retro jettison. Retro squib power safe. Jet safe. Squibs safe. FDI mode. Computer. Controller mode off for the RCS. Fuse boost insert control 2. Retro sequence off. Over on the pilot side, heater off. And then in the overhead panel, we're turning off the OMS control propellant. Turning off the fuel control. Recorder control. Turning off the fuel cells since they are no longer needed. Comp. Landing squib arm. Take note of the retro DV. 400 feet per minute. Start the entry checklist. Alright, so at 1430, we want 0 degrees yaw, which is what we are, horizon at top of window, and 170 degree roll. So that's 0 degrees yaw. Our pitch is going to be here. Actually, we basically just want to center the needles. And then it wants us at 100. Well, once we get there. So let's just stay here for now. It's going to be about 14 minutes. At 1430. Alright, 170 degree pitch. It's going to be somewhere right there. because this will force us deeper into the atmosphere. At 400,000 feet, after the roll needle deflection, control the attitude to back up bank and angle and damp pitch and yaw rates. Alright, so now this is the tricky part, where we basically control the G-forces with our angle. Right now, it's hard to see because it's nighttime. Except capsule 1 is bright, apparently. We are in an orientation that will favor pushing us deeper into the atmosphere. We don't need these open all the time. All right. Horizon at top of window. It's hard to see the horizon, but I'm just going to keep those needles centered. Let's see if I can not do a 15G reentry. That would be ideal. And there's the aerodynamic nose down. This is counting down the distance to the landing site. Man, it's very hard to see. There's nothing to see outside. Just because it's so dark outside. Okay, we have a little bit of G-forces. We are starting to slow down. Alright, I'm going to roll to about 45 degrees. It's going to be what? Right around there. Because we're starting to get in the atmosphere. I want to keep it around between 3 and 6 Gs. So now I'm going to roll flat. And now I'm going to start rolling up. Might have done a little bit too aggressive there. I should have started rolling up sooner. Alright, but we don't want to get too... Actually, yeah, we can float it a little bit. We've got 200 miles to go, and we're already slowing down significantly. So let's keep floating it. Yeah, should have started the roll upside down at around 3 degrees instead of 6. But at least I didn't go all the way to 15 this time. I am learning. Alright, we'll start the landing checklist since we're going to be here soon. Oh, we are actually... We did a little bounce there. That's fine. Let's keep floating. We'll float as much as we can. Just because we're going to land short of our landing field. So you can kind of see, I don't know how YouTube compresses this, but here's like the horizon. And you can see where it tilted up. So the capsule's producing lift. That's the idea, is to produce lift so you're like floating a little bit longer through the higher portions of the atmosphere. Oh, we're below 100,000 feet. We are going to land short, unfortunately. $70,000. $60,000. And it's suddenly daylight outside because this game doesn't understand how skies work. 50,000. At 40,000, we're gonna need to do the high alt drogue. There's 40,000. The light illuminates. Power on. High alt drogue. Push. That slows us down a bit. Toggle D ring. Uncover an arm. Ooh. Prop motor off, when 10.6K illuminates, which is going to be just a little bit because we are so very high up and we're starting to drag. See, 100 feet per second, or 10 feet per second, is 600 feet per minute. That's not a very rapid descent. It's a lot slower than most airlines do. Usually around 20 to 30 feet per second. Alright, 10.6 is going to come up. We're going to need to hit the parachute button. 10.6 is going to be right there. Boop. And the landing attitude. Push that as well. After main deploy, fuse attitude control. Down, down. Bias, off. Off, off, off. Pre-launch all the way down here. Turn the computer off. This goes to off. Turn the gyros off. Turn the AC power source off. The pitches, I think that was supposed to be on. Fuse Acme control 1, 2. At 2K altitude, which we're below 2K. Yes. We stow the D-ring. Now we wait. 600 feet. Going down at about 4 feet per second. Times 60. 4 times 6 is 240-ish feet per minute. It's still going to be a pretty rough landing. That's why the Soviets used the rocket motors to soften the landing right at the end. 100 feet to go. Gently down to the ocean for a nice, easy splashdown. Achievement unlocked! Certified Gemini pilot. Yay! Now I can do the missions finally. That will probably be a different day. Because there's also the maneuvering and burns. How to request a burn and how to read the pad. A data format that contains all the information related to a burn. The pad is designed so that it can be easy to insert data into the OBC. Actually, I do want to do this. One last lesson. Because this is what I was struggling with during the orbit circularization thing.
Mark, 50 seconds. You're looking good, 8.
Alrighty. Welcome to the maneuvering lesson. Gemini has the capability to alter its current orbital trajectory. To do this, the RCS thrusters are used to translate the craft in any direction. Executing burns is a semi-manual process. The OBC will first need to be configured with the burn vector, known as delta V or delta velocity, the change you wish to append to the current velocity. In addition, the computer will need to know when the change in velocity will take place. All OBC RCS burns are done in the catch-up module, a program in the OBC specifically designed to execute burns. Set the program to catch up. Alright. The aux tape will now be used to load the catch-up module into the OBC memory. It takes about 10 minutes. Use the timescale until the loading is complete and press Roger when ready. And there it is. Burns can be set up by either ground through DCS mission or through a radio request using the mission tools. Press C to toggle the bubble functions and click the mission tools button. This will open a new view where you can perform various actions related to the mission and request burns. Mission tools. Press the ground request burns from the list. Do not press any of them yet, but once you do, you'll receive a couple messages from ground containing bird information and a pad, data about the burn. Okay, go ahead and request PE circularization burn and close the mission tools window. Alright, PE circularization burn.
Roger, DCS.
This will request ground to calculate a burn that will circulate your orbit at perigee, the lowest point in your current orbit. Press Roger on both of them, and we'll look at the data later. Time to burn. Nice. It's a good long time. DV 65.7. Catch-up burn pad. Lots of data. Great. Now let's use the transcript on the mission pad to review the data. Open the mission pad and press the transcript and find the two messages containing the data. The first message is this one. Is a summary of the burn that has been uplinked through DCS. Each time you receive a DCS message, data uplinked from ground, the DCS light will illuminate. Press the DCS button to reset the light. Ooh, there is a light over here. Boom. Next message is the pad data, preliminary advisory data, and is basically all the information you will need related to a burn. Does the message seem a little intimidating? This message has a specific format, and once you understand it, it will be easy to read. To understand the message, let us open the pad form of a catch-up burn maneuver. Once again, open the Mission Tools menu, and then press Data, Forms, Catch-up Maneuver Pad. Okay. The Catch-up Maneuver Pad is used to type down the data in the pad you received from ground. Close the Mission Tools window. You can resize the pad window and move it around the screen. To start drawing on it, press the brush icon on the top right. This will disable the resizing tool but will enable drawing. You can toggle this as you like. Use the left mouse button, you can draw on the sheet. In addition, various tools are enabled in the toolbar, and stamps for numerics, plus, minus, and a shortcut for pen and eraser tool is available through the scroll wheel. Undo. Try this now and get familiar with how the drawing tools work. Okay. What was that about? Stamps for numerics. I don't see any stamps or anything. Okay. Using the tools. Yeah, I don't see any tools. Nope. You'll type in the data from the pad. Note, we can also do that, yeah. Because typing with a freaking... or writing with a mouse on this thing is going to be really annoying. First two data points in the pad is the burn row. And contains two rows. The first is the description of the burn. Type in pre-circ in the first row, and RCS OBC in the second row. I'm guessing that's up here. Oh. Okay. PE is the purpose. and then RCS OBC. Next, we have the Getty section, also containing 2 rows. The data point after the RCS in the pad message from ground contains the first part of the ignition timestamp, mission time, and is of a special format. If the data shows 00111, it tells you that the ignition should happen at 1 hour and 11 minutes into the mission. The format of the number is hour, 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 minute, minute, and can be seen on the pad. Type this into the sheet. 1, 1, 1. The next data point is also part of the ignition and contains the seconds and milliseconds of ignition. It also has 5 digits, where the first digit is always a 0. The next 2 digits is seconds, and the last 2 is milliseconds. You can type it into the sheet. Okay, so the first 2 is seconds, and the last 2 is milliseconds. So it's 24.44. What if I type? No. Okay. If the data point was 2388, it means you can read it as 23.88 seconds. The 2 Getty fields tells you the exact time of ignition. The OBC will need to know this data. The next section is the delta V and local vertical at time of ignition. The Getty you just type down. The x-axis is forward backward. The y-axis is left right. The z-axis is up down. Most burns will only contain data on the x-axis. Since this is a periapsis circulation burn, the delta V is negative retrograde. That's what the 9 means. This is indicated with the 9 in the beginning of the data point, since the OBC does not have plus or minus buttons. Type this into the pad. You'll notice that the last digit of the 5 digits is a decimal, so the format is 4.1, where the first X can be 9 negative value or 0 positive value. Alright, so it is 9065.7. Negative 065.7. And then these are all zeros. The BT is the burn time in seconds. Type this into the sheet. Burn time 32.85. Excuse me. The entire ATT section can be skipped for now, but is the direction of the burn vector on your current inertial platform, which is currently NA. Next 2 entries in the pad is a HA and HP. The predicted are the height of apoapsis and the height of periapsis. The predicted altitude of the resulting orbit you're about to burn into. If the DT or DV is applied at Getty, the unit is nautical miles and the altitude is above the surface of the Earth. You knew apoapsis and periapsis, basically. That's it for the basics of the pad. Anytime you receive a pad, just follow the order of the data in the message and type them down in the correct sheet in the same order. Once you have the pad, the data can be inserted into the OBC. This is done automatically using your DCS uplink from the ground, but you should always verify the data you get. Look at the right side of the pad. In the 2 Getty lines, you will see numbers 1 and 2. This is the core where the data should be inserted. Let us first check the data. Alright, let's close that. Go to Copilot side. On the OBC MDU, press 01. Read out. And verify it's 111. Good. If it does not, simply type in the 5 digits and hit enter, but it should be correct. Cool. You might have noticed that all of the values that should be inserted into the OBC is in the correct format in the pad, 5 digits, and the 09 for positive and negative values. This makes it easy to plot a planned course into the computer. Let us verify that the next Getty point. Hit clear. 02. Read out. And it was 02444. Then check core 25. 90656. Type it in if it does not match. So it does not match, so we should do 90657. Enter. Do the same for core 26 and core 27. Core 27 was -0, so I'm just going to, if it's 0, I'm going to accept that. Clear. 26. Read out. Clear. 27. Read out. Good. The OBC is now configured for the burn. You can close the catch-up maneuver pad if you wish. You can always bring it back from the Mission Tools menu. Once we have inserted the burn data into the OBC, the burn can be calculated by pressing Start. The OBC will now calculate the burn and display the burn vector on the IVIs. But first, key 8-4 and read out the MDU. Back over here. Clear. 8-4. Read out. This will show you the countdown to the burn in minutes and seconds. Keep in mind that it can take up to 3.5 seconds for the MDIU to show the value, meaning that there is a slight offset in the time to burn when you see the data. The first 3 digits is the total minutes to burn, and the last 2 is seconds. So, alright, so it's 42 minutes and 12 seconds. Set the event timer to 10 minutes. Mode standby so that it does not count. Alright, so mode to standby. Alright. I think it needs to be stop. Because if I go down, that's going to start the countdown. Yeah. You can use Core 84 as a reference, but configure the event timer using the Getty from the pad. Timer set. Monitor the mission timer in the center panel burn. Burn should happen when it is equal to the Getty from the pad. When it is 10 minutes left to ignition, start the event timer to make it easy to see when the ignition should happen. Alright, so if I bring up the data forms again, it's at 1 hour and 11 minutes. So right now we're close to about 40 hours, or 40 minutes, yeah. The comp light will also extinguish when there's 2 minutes left to burn, and illuminate again when you should start the burn. So when the light goes out, prepare to burn, and when it goes back on, execute. Enable the OAMS and try big end forward, small end forward, and manual controls, and pay attention to the IVIs. Oh! That's fascinating. So this factors in your orientation. So it would make sense. So this is a periaps burn, so we're going to be burning retrograde, which means it would make sense to be in a retrograde orientation. But this is going to tell us, regardless of our orientation, and since we have 6 axes on which we can, or 3 axes on which we can burn, we could literally be in any orientation and perform this maneuver. That's fascinating. Ooh, it's pretty outside. It's very pretty outside. Let's go small end forward. Let's also... we have propellant. It is nice and warm. That's weird. Is that Baikal? Are we passing over Russia? I think we're passing over Russia. No, we're passing over Africa. I don't know where that is then. It's a pretty lake. The IVI is displaying the burn vector that should happen at Getty relative to your local body axis. As you change your attitude, the IVIs will update and show you what direction to burn to zero the IVIs. This means that since the RCS translation can be done in any direction, your spacecraft can perform the burn in any attitude. But it's easiest to perform the burn if the majority happens in one axis. Typically, you want to be in BEF or SEF during the burn. If the burn is a delta V X or delta X burn, prograde or retrograde like this, most of the delta V can be done using the forward aft thrusters. When you see the comp light turn back on, and when the countdown reaches the ignition time, simply zero the IVIs and the burn will complete. Timing is key, and the duration is important, so execute the entire burn as fast as you can. Good luck. Get into circular orbit as planned. Alright, let's turn this off for now. Let's do some time compression. Seven, 25, 23, 21, 19, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, Okay, so 24 seconds is roughly when I should trigger this. Yes. Okay, 24 seconds is when I need to move the clock from 1, 2, 3, start. Bam. So it should read 9:50 now. Yes. Now it should read 9:45. Good. Let's turn the lights up a little bit. Let's also turn on our attitude lights and center lights, just for good measure. I wonder what the center light's red looks like. Is that better? Makes the FD, the flight director, stand out a little bit more, which is nice. All right. So we're going to want to be in big end forward. I'm going to need to turn on the ohms. Oh, it's nighttime. And what we should be getting is About 65.7 feet per second. Pretty. Where are we over now? We are... That is Australia that we're looking back at. Alright, so now, as we approach here, so that light goes out at what, 4 minutes or something? Transcript. 2 minutes left to the burn. Alright, let's just turn these off for now. Okay, turn on the OAMS. 2 minutes left. Comp light goes out. As you can see, as we're getting closer and closer to the actual point of burn, because we're facing retrograde, these numbers are getting closer and closer, just being entirely along the one axis. Whereas if I do a manual motion instead of begin forward, if I go free, and I was to just... Oh, I cannot move it. Okay. We'll worry about that later. Alright, we got 1 minute left. Oh, it was the attitude control. Yeah. I'm a dumb. I should have done the... Anyway, doesn't matter now. Got 1 minute left. And we're going to move forward, which is the H key. A little bit to the left, and a little bit up. Great job! Hit the reset button on the computer to finalize the procedures. It's important to not let the computer run or compute an old burn, or the IVIs will go crazy. All of the burn procedures can be found in the mission pad, circularized orbit, and rendezvous checklists. Nice! We still had most of our ohms after that. Even after the burn, we only burned a little bit. That's fascinating. Alrighty then. I don't like that it didn't save my player thing. I've changed that several times now, but I don't know how to actually save it. Mastering orbital flight. New spacecraft. Test some of its core systems and maneuvering capabilities. This will be fun. Alright, for now, that's going to be it for me. If you have been, thanks for watching. Have a great day.